to recognize the innovative, life-saving work that our specialized investigators have completed in 2025. Using top investigative techniques and cutting-edge technologies, these units have been hard at work removing dangerous narcotics from our community and arresting traffickers who profit from pushing poison in our city. Take a look at the screens to see a few highlights of these investigators' work this year. In 2021, JSO created the Narcotics Overdose Death Investigations Unit. This unit was created in response to the explosion in toxicity deaths, largely driven by the entry of synthetic opioids in the street narcotics market. The specialized detectives assigned to this squad are tasked with the unique mission of investigating overdose deaths to build manslaughter cases against the drug traffickers who source lethal narcotics. In 2022, JSO investigated an overwhelming 472 overdose death investigations. In 2023, these detectives investigated 433 overdose deaths. And in 2024, they investigated 317 deaths. This year, our detectives have investigated 221 deaths. And based on those investigations, Narcotics Overdose and Death Investigations Unit detectives have arrested 17 drug dealers on manslaughter charges for 2025. One of those dealers is also facing a murder charge. Working closely with the State Attorney's Office, JSO is investigating and building innovative cases against those who provide and profit off the poisons that cause senseless deaths in our city. Given the significant decline in overdose deaths this year, whether it is causation or correlation, the fact remains that JSO's proactive narcotics investigations are preventing deaths. Every dose of illegal narcotics that is seized by law enforcement is a potential life saved. These are some of JSO's reported seizures in 2025 and their estimated values. Approximately 28 kilograms of fentanyl with an estimated value of $638,000. Fentanyl is one of the worst drugs that we face in our community. Approximately 60 kilograms of powder cocaine with an estimated value of $1.1 million. Approximately 3.4 kilograms of crack cocaine with an estimated value of $56,000. Approximately 25 pounds of methamphetamine with an estimated value of $33,000, and approximately 3,300 pounds of cannabis with an estimated value of $5 million. While dangerous narcotics are addicting and killing people here in Jacksonville, we know that the illegal drug trade has international ties. In working together with local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies, JSO's narcotics units have intercepted and seized drugs from planes, trucks, cars, boats, and other vehicles. Historically, JSO narcotics units have been part of investigations that reach into Central and South American and Caribbean countries, including Mexico, Jamaica, and Colombia. As a longtime homicide investigator myself, I can tell you that where there are drugs, there's also deadly violence. Violence goes hand in hand with the illegal narcotics trade. In 2025, narcotics investigators seized 177 crime guns, and that's just that section. We have another section that works that job every single day who have also collected a lot of these guns. Those are 177 firearms that will not be able to be used to kill, injure members of this community. This agency targets and dismantles drug operations not only to remove the poison that fuels addiction, but also to remove the accelerant which ignites violence in our community. JSL uses a multifaceted approach to violence prevention. Breaking up illegal drug operations is an important piece of this strategy. Our approach is delivering unprecedented results. And in 2025, we only had one documented gang or group affiliated murder in Jacksonville. And while one murder is too many, we are encouraged by this truly historical drop in gang-related deaths. In 2025, JSO narcotics investigators arrested 813 criminals, and we will only continue this work in 2026. If you're a drug trafficker in Jacksonville, stay away from here, don't come here, we don't want you here, and keep your poison out of our city. Because JSO won't stop until you're in prison and no longer able to be a danger to our community. I want to end today by thanking the many engaged Jacksonville citizens who provided critical information to the narcotics unit this year. So many of our narcotics investigations are spearheaded by concerned citizens making complaints or sharing information about suspicious activity. If you see something, call us at 630-0500. That's area code 904-630-0500. 0500 or First Coast Crime Stoppers. Communication between the public and the police is at the heart of community policing. We simply cannot do the important work we do in law enforcement without the involvement of the public that we serve. So to the good and decent people of Jacksonville who spoke up about illegal drug activity in their communities, we thank you, a heartfelt thank you. I hope the results that I've discussed today show you that your voice matters. We are going to listen, we are going to respond, and that your voice is heard. Thank you for helping us make Jacksonville a safer place as we welcome in 2026. At this time, I'll take any questions that you may have.
Sheriff, there's been a big national push on stopping drugs from entering the United States. On the local level, have you seen any shifts in the supply coming from outside of Jacksonville, inside of Jacksonville?
I'm going to let the director from Narcotics and Vice Section answer that question. They'll be able to tell you that in more detail.
So yes, to answer your question, we have seen a reduction of drugs flowing into Jacksonville, and with multiple operations that are ongoing by our undercover investigators in Narcotics and Vice Section, we are trying to combat those on a daily basis.
And typically, historically, have they come from international? I mean, are they made domestically?
Yes.
International?
Yes.
And officer, I'm sorry, your name?
Director Ed Cayenne.
Sheriff, you said only one documented gang or group affiliated murder. Is that low?
That's
relatively, historically speaking.
That's very low. As a matter of fact, they typically drive numbers in our city in the past, but because of some double down efforts from our agency and of course our great community, that's severely reduced, but we're still heavily focused on it.
What tools or maybe even technology is the narcotics unit maybe using to ensure it's most effective?
There's a lot, but there's a lot of things that I don't want to talk about because it keeps us being able to operate the way that we operate. And we'll keep that stuff close to the vest. Don't think that I just don't want to answer. I would like to, but that's a difficult job with a lot of undercovers and things like that, so I'd like to keep that close to the vest.
If people are living next to what they worry is a drug house, they may be scared. What are they supposed to do?
Call us, 630-0500.
But if they're worried about, their neighbor knowing it was them that ratted them out.
Typically, if you make a phone call, it's very difficult for the neighbor to find out. And you can tell us if you can tell us that you don't want us to come by your house, we will not do that. But in most cases, we have phone numbers, 630, what's the number at the narcotics now? 2163 is our directly to our narcotics unit. You can make that phone call and they'll begin working those cases. And the good thing about it is the people that call may think that our detectives are part of the problem, that means they're doing the job the right way, and we can bring those things to some resolution for them. But they don't ever have to be divulged.
You mentioned 3,300 pounds of cannabis. Could you speak to that? Because there's so much debate over marijuana. People probably have it. How that's handled and what people need to know.
Yeah, it's still illegal. And it's still, until it's not illegal, we're going to enforce it the way that the statute says we enforce it. We're always going to enforce it. If it gets to the point, at some point where it becomes illegal recreationally, then we'll adjust. But until then, we're going to do business like we're supposed to do business. And we're going to protect the members of this community. Yes, sir.
The drop in the numbers on deaths we saw from year to year,
Mhm.
is that match we're seeing in the region or the state, however far it goes?
I think there's a big part that goes nationally, but I think there's some double down efforts here with our state attorney, with us and our overdose units that are working on those cases. And I think we're making a dent in different ways. When you take someone that's dealing drugs, and they're dealing drugs they don't care what they're dealing, and they're dealing it to people and they're dying from it, and you get those people off the street, there's naturally going to be a decrease in some of those numbers. So we think that's also a part of it.
Is Narcan more common, or is it getting the drugs out before people take them, or is there also life-saving?
Oh, there's always life-saving efforts. I wouldn't stand here and tell you that doesn't happen. There are life-saving efforts that are there. But I think there's a big push and a big focus by our agency to make sure that we put those people in front of a jury when they sell drugs to people that cause them harm.
On these 17 drug dealers, how do you know that? Are they overt, obvious drug dealers, or are they more subtle about how they do this and make part of the time?
Well, sometimes they're difficult. Sometimes they stand on street corners, which is not as common as it used to be. But again, it's concerned citizens. They'll tell us an address. They'll tell us, maybe someone talks to me on a sheriff's walk. No, maybe somebody calls a number like Crime Stoppers. Maybe they call Narcotics directly, but they tell us about these things, and then we take over and we go from there and work those complaints.
And as far as the overdose that's left dropping, is there certain neighborhoods that you guys can disclose that, seen a significant change?
No, it's all over. It's all over. It's all over. So not a particular neighborhood. It's just, drugs affect a lot of people. Illegal drugs affect a lot of people all over the map. There's no specific neighborhood where it's happening. It's just we're seeing a decrease, which is really good. Anything else? All right, thanks. Good to see you, Scott. Merry Christmas.